Welcome, Rejects, to a new episode of the Full Send Rejects.
Nailed it.
On today's episode, we go 10 seconds without an interruption. Discussion Englishmen who fought Nazis with longbows and broadswords, an actual asylum from West Virginia, and an insight into the phobias that cause some of us mortals to be fearful of being injured in battle and the fear of going insane. We would like to thank you for getting swirly with us as we ramble on about the topics that interest us. And before we do, let's dive into our pre-topic banter, starting with the Miami update. Billy?
Well, the Heat are, they're going at 4. No, wait, they won.
Yeah,
I'm
did they
thinking
win?
of the
No, they
Panthers.
didn't.
They didn't win last night, but they won game 2.
Yeah, but it's they're not looking too good.
No. Buddy made a bet with me. Nuggets in 5. So I'm really hoping they do something.
Yeah, well, the Panthers are up right now, but
No, Panthers are tied right now, actually.
oh, never mind. That is a real-time update with Billy.
1-1, and Kachuk is hurt.
Ooh, it's probably the first game of the finals for hockey that I did not make a bet on, so. Lost the first one, won the second one.
Yeah, I've been on a losing streak. I think the next thing I bet on is probably going to be the Puppy Bowl.
Well, I made a bet last night on some of the money lines for baseball, which you now understand what that is. And 2 of the games that I bet on were canceled because of the Canadian fires. So, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Oh. My respiratory system's not doing good.
So you think both Miami teams are going to be squash?
I think the Panthers can come back. They got heart.
Most Panthers do have hearts. That's how they have. That's how they live.
Floridian, so
Floridian,
I definitely
some go
think
down.
Nuggets in 6.
Nuggets in 6, and you think Florida still has it?
Yep.
I think the Panthers still have it.
Panthers in 7.
I'll make it Panthers in 7.
So Nuggets in 6 and Panthers in 7.
I can count.
And a Cougar tonight.
Wow.
Listen, I might not know my Panthers, but I backed a Cougar.
God damn it. Moving on. Where do we think Dalvin Cook's going to end up now that Minnesota's dropping him?
Who even needs a running back right now? I mean, Dallas.
Dallas needs veteran presence.
Because Zeke isn't there anymore.
Dallas just needs to
They had
scratch
Pollard
them.
and they picked someone up in the draft.
Oh, they did take someone in the draft, and they could fuck off too. I hate Dallas.
Yeah, the whole fucking team can fuck off.
Who would need a running back?
I think every office or every workplace has at least one piece of shit that votes for the Cowboys to do something.
He's a cool kid to talk to, but like he knows football, which is nice, and he knows more than the Cowboys, which is very nice.
But every year, it's our year.
Yeah.
That's
Last year when I started in November, he was like, "Yeah, no, we ain't got it this year."
Yeah, every year is their year.
Nah, he was already defeated in November.
Did the Bengals get rid of Joe Mixon?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember. I remember there's a dispute there. Because if they did, that'd be a good landing spot for him.
He'll end up on the fucking Browns and squander the rest of his career anyway.
Or he can go to the Chiefs for whatever goddamn reason.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Because they need recruits.
Well, it's like running back's like their worst position, and it's not even a bad position for that team.
Miami was looking at him, apparently.
Well, yeah, because Miami will need a running game when they're on their fifth quarterback again.
Yeah, when Tua has his head actually ripped off his shoulders.
Ooh, Buffalo. Because that's their weak spot, too. I would know. I would take a Buffalo running back every fucking fantasy season.
They can stay a weak spot. Josh Allen doesn't need any help.
Yes, he does, because he has yet to go to the Super Bowl.
Good.
Yep.
I mean, good. Buffalo deserves to go.
Yo, Baltimore's
Okay.
knocked out. I'm going Buffalo.
Next time they beat us and you're cursing at this TV and you're like, yo, fuck Buffalo, I hope you get a blizzard. I'm going to remind you of this moment.
Okay, first of all, last time they played in a blizzard, Pittsburgh beat their ass, all right? Because Le'Veon Bell ran for 96 yards and 30 carries, but scored 2 touchdowns.
But now they're, too scared to play in 8 feet of snow. Wimps.
Yeah. No fun league.
It's not in their contract.
You know what? There's something to talk about this week. Damar Hamlin back playing football.
Good for him.
The dude died on an NFL field is back practicing. That is some balls.
Last year.
Yeah. Listen, I feel like my breath got heavy. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm done doing this. The dude died and he's back. Who else could use Dalvin Cook? Saints?
No, they have Jamal Williams.
Oh, that's right. I don't know who else will go for him.
Jamal Williams is becoming my random player to really like.
Well, we all need one of those.
Well, yeah, JJ's gone, so what the fuck else am I going to do?
Cheer for another Watt.
Yeah.
Try Pittsburgh.
I can't bring it in myself.
I mean, if you really want to go for a Watt that's on Pittsburgh, Derek is out there somewhere now.
He's not the
superior. Great, the halfback.
First of all, he's a fullback. Second of all, he's a beast.
Oh,
he's not the
fullback?
Yeah, he's a fullback. He's not the superior Watt.
Yeah, because it's JJ.
No, it's not.
This entire podcast is just going to be us arguing about JJ TJ.
Stop kissing the picture of TJ Watt. God damn, I'm taking that picture off the wall.
When did you start talking to yourself, bud?
Wait, who put beer bowl in here?
I did.
Oh, very nice. I just noticed that.
Oh, yeah, holy shit.
Just put that in there out of nowhere.
Yeah. Some of us have to pay attention.
Well, who adds stuff in the middle of an episode?
That was
This is pre-topic banter. I'm not reading.
Yeah.
I added that before you did the intro.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm deaf and can't read.
I'm blind.
And you put it on the bottom, and I go in a line here.
Yeah.
What was I supposed to add it? In the middle of his intro?
No, I just put it just randomly in a document somewhere.
Well, you saw it.
No,
So what?
in between somewhere between Miami and the next segment.
It is kind of.
Well, yeah, we may as well talk about it, huh? We're already off script.
Do we talk about the beer bowl first?
Might as well talk about beer bowl first now.
That is football related.
It is football related. We
have a week to assemble a team if we do this.
We need to get a serious team assembled, and I'm talking serious. We're gonna have to have tryouts or something to where
we have a week to assemble a team and submit a video.
Okay, well, half our team is going to be here. We just got to invite the other half of the team here on Saturday night.
So,
is there a video of Josh doing the cake stand?
I have a video of Josh doing the cake stand. Or we could just invite Josh over this weekend and we could just watch him just funnel beer after beer after beer.
Because I have an idea.
I have questions, though, then.
Okay, answer.
Is this an annual thing? Is it going to happen next year?
They didn't say if it was annual. All I know is that they're doing it for the Philadelphia Eagles Autism Awareness Fund.
So it's going to be annual. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I can see them.
What? Oh, here's what we're going to do. Did you ever see the movie Beer Fest?
Yeah, it's classic.
It's an annual thing. It's going to be an annual thing.
Oop. I didn't put my phone on silent.
Womp womp.
Go ahead.
Okay, so when it becomes an annual thing, what we're going to do, we're going to take the whole next year. We're going to quit our jobs. We're going to find a way to make money. And we're just going to drink excessively, Beer Fest style, games, everything. And next year we're gonna show up and take that shit.
First of all, I don't need to quit my job to do that.
Yeah.
Second of all, I feel like I'm not saying we're alcoholics. I feel like we're experienced.
Alcohol enthusiasts.
We're experienced enough to where we have this in the bag on a mid-level.
Yeah, but there's games involved. We're not that. Well, I'm not that great at games.
I
need
can
to get
flip.
to that level.
I mean, I got beer pong.
Yeah, Anthony can beer pong. I could flip cup, and I can fucking shotgun a beer like it's nothing. Like
You've seen me beer pong.
Yeah, but I could shotgun a beer like my life depended on it. Like it's disgusting.
I can't. We need to work on this.
You're gonna be our secret. You're gonna be Toodles. We're gonna use that. You're gonna be our secret tool that no one knows about until it's needed. You're gonna be that last man standing.
Weapon X.
You're gonna be all broken out and hived in the corner. People think you're half dead, and then all of a sudden you just go in there, fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin, fucking just pouring beers all over your face. Yeah, you're gonna be that secret tool. People are gonna look at you and think, "Man, this kid's gonna be out in 20 minutes."
Still standing.
And you're always the last man standing.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
He leans. He's not.
But he doesn't fall.
He doesn't fall. But he's Michael Jackson. And he okay.
Weeble wobble, but they don't fall down.
Yeah, he's like one of those like balloon, like one of those little thing characters outside car places that just.
Like we can playing Goo Man?
Yeah, they're sitting there like.
We can just push him out to face off against some like big motherfucker. They're all laughing, and he's just sitting there, just taking down beers.
It's the trauma.
It's the eye of the drunk. It's the freedom to drink.
So what do you want to talk about?
Bottoms up to our rivals.
Going in there with Billy the Jew instead of Billy the Kid.
And I think a nice addition to the team would be Chuck, because that man can drink beer.
We need strong beer drinkers.
Because if we submit a video of like you shotgunning a beer, get me chugging that bottle of liquor.
No.
Instead of, yes.
Okay. A past bottle of you chugging liquor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That one video that already exists.
Ooh, yes.
Have that, like, intertwine these, you know.
Yeah, our luck, they'll be thinking that we're like submitted into this, and we end up going there, and they are like, hey, here's rehab. Surprise.
It's not a 50-gram
time lapse for me.
Yeah, it's not a 50-gram prize of whoever wins. It's a 50-gram prize to go to rehab the longest.
Yeah, it's $50,000 for rehab.
By the way, watch Bupkis.
We started that. Yeah,
we did. We started. That's still the first episode. Well, you came in like halfway through.
Yeah, and he recapped me. But we're in the middle of Yellowstone right now, and we're invested, so we kind of have to keep going with that. It's hard to put down. You have to watch Tulsa King and Yellowstone. You have to watch.
Like I told Kodak, I'll get there.
Yeah, it's really cool about Tulsa King. But it's an excellent time to sit inside and watch because he's fucking outside. You cannot be out because of Canada.
Blame Canada.
Oh. New segment.
Well, Kyle's mom was a big old bitch. She's the biggest bitch in the whole wide world.
What does that have to do with anything?
Blame Canada. It's the same movie. All the reference.
Yeah, same reference.
Yeah, in new episodes, Kyle blames Canada for shit too.
Yeah, you're not my buddy, guy.
Yeah, I'm not your buddy, pal. I fucked it up already.
That's all right. It's like I'm not your buddy, friend. I'm not your friend, guy.
It goes pal, friend, buddy, and gay.
Huh. Fuck Canada. All I have to do is make maple syrup. That's the one thing I'm pissed off about is this smoke. Does it smell like maple syrup?
Yeah, no, it smelled like plastic all in Hazleton the day it became really bad.
I'll take the risk of my lungs. I'll take the risk of my lungs, but at least let me smell maple syrup.
Yeah, no, like if that was the trade-off, I could have dealt with that.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm coughing up black shit, which is not, physically good.
I did ask my Californian friend how they deal with wildfires like this, and he said, yep, they bitch about the electrical companies, so he told me just bitch about Canada, so here I am.
Fuck Canada.
Yeah.
Blame
Montreal is
Canada.
lovely, though.
Yeah, I'm sure the parts of Canada that's not on fire are lovely.
Josh said you had him at beer.
Good.
Yo, I did actually look up a little bit of info on this. It burned 11 million acres so far.
Whew, last I saw was like 8 million.
It's a lot.
That's
Yeah, good thing they have
still a
one land.
lot of acres.
I'm just upset because I
It's-
smell barbecue and there's no bacon.
I just smell campfire, and I haven't been camping in years.
It's about 11 more million acres than I own, so it's a lot of acres.
Yeah, I don't even. I rent an acre. That's not an acre. It's like a, I don't know,
How many
16th
acres
of
do we
one.
own? Like a half?
Not even.
How big is an acre?
I don't know. I lived on one, but I couldn't tell you how fucking big it is.
Oh, wait, we just own an acre of land. Yeah, we own less than an acre.
It's still, that's a lot of land.
Yeah.
Yeah, 120,000 people have been displaced thus far.
That's like half of Canadians' population, isn't it?
Probably. Oh, the only territory that wasn't affected yet is none of it.
Well, they're having none of this.
None of it is the newest province to be added. Thank you, Jeopardy.
Huh.
That's a weird fact I'll never forget. I don't know why.
Maybe they can move to Moose Jaw or Yellow. Oh, no, it's Medicine Hat.
Medicine.
Yeah, an actual city in Canada.
Yeah, they're no better than Pennsylvania.
What, Medicine Hat?
Yeah, we have Blue Ball. They have Medicine Hat.
But they don't have Pillow.
Wait,
Just a
I
bunch
didn't even know we had a pillow.
Yeah, we have Pillow.
Oh, shit.
We have Pillow. We have Rough and Ready. Intercourse.
Bird in hand.
Bird in Hand. Yep. Ever been to Blue Balls? It's a nice town. I'm serious.
I've
It is.
driven through Blue Balls.
My favorite thing is the fire trucks are blue.
They knew what they were doing.
Great marketing tool.
It is. They should send these Blue Balls fire trucks to fight the Canadian fires. A.
Apparently, we did send the reserves or something up there.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I'm just happy that for once we're not the bad guys when it comes to ecological disasters.
Yeah, how you like me now? California's still going strong. I said, no, they're probably on fire. I don't fucking pay attention.
But isn't this like one of the largest fires in Canadian history?
Yes, it's the worst wildfire season on record.
Awesome, and it just started.
Yeah, global warming's not real. It's fine.
So there should be a huge market for smoked Canadian bacon.
You're really going for
What
this, aren't you?
Canadian bacon's awful.
It's ham. I just wanted to put bacon in the episode. Had to do it.
Cricket.
Had to do it. Had to do it.
Oh, the poor animals.
Yeah. What a waste of lives.
I saw a vulture today. That was neat.
Huh.
Yeah, just chilling in Frackville on the side of the road. I mean,
I saw a
eating
crap
something.
person. That was normal.
Oh yeah, no, like I don't need to bring that up because that's an everyday occurrence.
I love living in Pennsylvania.
I mean, Wilkes-Barre, it's common, but up here it's not. I don't think I've ever seen just random people just yelling at themselves and beating the shit out of themselves.
In Pittston?
No,
I don't think so.
I mean even the gas station late at night wasn't too sketchy.
I was about to say I picked up a few drunks on the side of the road before, but that's about as crazy as it gets.
Wow, that was you shouldn't be doing that.
That was
No.
really irresponsible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. It was very sketchy of me, especially the one guy was in a dress.
Maybe he was trying to celebrate Pride Month prematurely.
I'm not sure. He was a grumpy old woman.
Had too many Bud Lights.
It was milk, but okay.
Oh, I'm
That
sure
was
to
good.
get all those up.
Can't wait for our next adventure.
I'm going on an adventure.
Just saying, my knee is getting stronger for once.
See, we need more drunken walks.
Yeah. Drunken walk
Mhm.
totally set me up.
He needs that for softball season.
That's why it's getting better.
There you
I'm
go.
actually working things out.
Look at you go.
What a strong Jew.
Yay, life improvements.
All right, let's crack this knee.
Not to tear you down, but tonight's episode. We do have quite the doozy.
Oh, we do have we have 10 pages of episodes here. Oh, my page. 9 pages. I think I went crazy. All right, to our first main topic. Mad Jack Churchill.
Was he sad or was he mad?
He was sad at one point, but he was mostly mad.
Yo, I got a place you can visit later.
Oh, I can't wait to hear about it. I'm sure he'd love it.
Wasn't such a happy lad.
Well, how does one get the name of Mad Jack? That's what we will find out today about this absolute unit who fought Nazis with a longbow, played bagpipes as he did it, and escaped concentration camps.
Go higher.
All right, I'm in.
He's not Jewish. He's English. He's English. He's not Jewish.
His name is Churchill.
Yeah, it's very Catholic
He's
name.
a whole guy.
In there, just like he did.
Before we get into this legend of this madman, we're going to take a look into his early life. Jack was born in 1906 in the British territory of British Ceylon, an island off the coast of India, which is the modern-day island nation of Sri Lanka. His parents were Alec Fleming Churchill, who served as district engineer for British Ceylon, and Eleanor Elizabeth. Now, in my research, it turns out Alec Fleming's family was one of the more prominent families in British history, dating back to the 13th century, fulfilling different roles to the crown, including the title of General of the Armies. So they had some favor with the crown. Soon after his birth, the family would move back to Dormansland, Surrey, a large village located in England where Jack's little brother Thomas was born. However, in 1910, the crown would send the family to British Hong Kong, so Alec can serve as Director of Public Works and serve as member of the Executive Council. Who would have thought that you only need political connections to see the world in this day?
That was before the Villisca murders.
It was before the Villisca murders. And they're on the other side of the world, so we can rule them out as suspects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They don't like that.
Jack would soon welcome another brother when Robert was born, and a year later. Robert would go on to serve in the Royal Navy as part of the Royal Air Arm, and the family would move back to England in 1917, which was a lovely time to be in Europe.
After the Titanic.
And during the World War I.
And didn't the plague break out or something? Some sort of...
there might have been some, was it cholera? Cholera?
Cholera, Spanish flu. Spanish flu was big.
Oh, yeah, Spanish flu. There we go. That was big.
Some fuckery was afoot.
Yeah. You know the Spanish flu didn't come from Spain?
Of course not.
No, only got the name because Spain was the only one who really cared enough to report on it. Fun fact.
Well, we have to blame it on someone else, so.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Anyway.
Thanks, China.
God damn it. In 1926, Jack would attend King William's College on the Isle of Man. He would also attend the Royal Military College of Sandhurst and go on to serve in Burma for the remainder of the year with the Manchester Regiment, which is a highly decorated regiment from World War I that was known for their tenacity, but was also part of the bloodiest day in British Army history, the Battle of Assam. Now, during his time in Burma, Jack was kind of known as an adventurous and would kind of say fuck it and take motorcycle trips around the country. Did not really care what people had to say. He kind of just went on and did what he wanted to do.
I'm just going out on my hog.
That's literally what he did. He just said fuck it, left the gates, and went. And no one could do a thing because his family, again, was connected.
He made a big joke.
What a guy.
Yeah, he didn't care. Things are too quiet there. In 1936, Jack would leave the army and began work as a newspaper editor in Nairobi, Kenya, which was a British colony at the time because, you know, everyone had their own symbol back then. What was that?
Was that no, that was way before apartheid.
Oh, apartheid. Yeah, apartheid was like the 70s and 80s in South Africa, I think.
Yeah, I'm not great with any history that didn't happen here.
Yeah, that was after colonialism in Africa.
Racist.
Who's going to get
I'm
canceled?
just a proud American. No, I dropped out before I got to world history.
Fair enough.
Okay, Anne Frank.
Oh.
Wow.
I mean, she didn't drop out. She got picked up. Oh, I'm going to hell for that one. Anyway. Speaking of things being hot, fairness, Jack would begin work as a male model because, honestly, why not? He would lean on his skills of playing bagpipes and archery to play roles in the 1924 movie The Thief of Baghdad, which saw a lot of success and even being preserved by the U.S. National Film Registry. The film was made by the same person who made the original Red Hood movie, actually, or Robin Hood movie. I said Red Hood, didn't I?
You sure did.
Listen.
You were thinking about CJ's freaking
his new fridge.
His new fridge there.
Jack would also appear in the 1938 movie A Yank of Oxford, which also saw moderate success. What?
A yank.
Yeah, a yank. It's a reference to
the Red Hood.
Moving on.
This guy's on his hog.
He also took second place in a military bagpiping competition and shut up. And represented the kingdom in the World Archery Competition held in Oslo in 1939, earning a silver medal out of 4 teams. So, you know, not that impressive.
He really blew it.
Oh, big deal.
Now, you might not have heard of these things because during 1939, there are some other kinds of shootings going on in 1939. So, you know, shout out to Poland. I actually learned that our semi-local national park of Valley Forge held this competition in 1969, where we actually won a couple of golds.
Nice.
Yeah. What a year.
What a great year for shooting.
God damn it.
From the Red Hood. While blowing bagpipes.
Okay, you're reaching now.
Oh, what a yanker.
Moving on. Now, if you think this is a story about someone having fun fucking around Europe because his family is rich, Adolf Hitler has now entered the chat. and oddly enough, this is kind of where Mad Jack is about to have his fun. Well, he's mad for a reason. As Hitler invades Poland, Churchill returns to the army with his commission intact, and he's back with the Manchester Regiment. His first assignment was with the British Expeditionary Force in France. It would not be long before Churchill found himself in combat as he led a unit on an ambush on a German patrol near the French commune of Richembourg, which he signally attacked by raising his broadsword, which was an unusual weapon for officers in combat at the time. There was some who said that he obtained kills with his longbow here. However, Churchill himself stated that his longbow was crushed by a transportation vehicle earlier in the campaign. However, in later battles, he would have his longbow.
Was this dude related to Winston fucking Churchill?
Well, we'll get that. Don't worry. We'll get to that.
Oh, so that's a yes. Cool.
Oh, no, it's not actually.
Oh, damn it.
Let's just say you made, ironically enough, you, the Jew, made the same assumption as the Nazis did.
Oh.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
As the Allies were losing France, Churchill found himself surrounded by Germans in Dunkirk. Now, a lot of people know about Dunkirk, but some may not. Basically, Germans were surrounding the Allies there, and there's a big evacuation and whatnot. However, not wanting to leave the Germans alone, he transferred to the commandos just so he can raid the Germans and be a constant headache to them. Plus, he got to ride his motorcycle again, so win-win for him.
Back on the road.
Basically, the commandos were basically charged of going behind enemy lines and just causing some shenanigans. A general would soon make comments about Churchill's weaponry, bagpipes, his longbow, and his broadsword, and he would reply with, any officer who goes in action without a sword is improperly dressed.
So wait, this dude's just going into battle with the fucking bagpipes on his back and shit?
He would play them every now and then, too, on the battlefield.
What a fucking guy.
Oh, I love this guy. This guy's one of my heroes. What are you doing?
Yeah, no, this guy's quickly working up the list.
Okay. Jack's younger brother, Thomas, also led a commando squadron during the war. Thomas would publish a book titled Commando Crusade, detailing his time in the commandos. Jack's other younger brother, Robert, was actually killed in action in 1942 during his service with the Royal Navy during the Malta campaign.
Oh, what was going on?
Yeah, there's some other side information going on there. But back to Mad Jack. He would achieve the role of second in command for Commando Unit 3 during Operation Archery, which I think is just properly named for this guy with a longbow. Operation Archery was a raid on German positions in Norway, as during the opening salvos of World War II, Germany kind of just took Norway. Now, typically when one does a raid of this caliber, you would expect them, with a rifle in hand, some weapons so they can engage. Not Mad Jack. When the ramps lowered, he insisted on playing his bagpipes first, performing a rendition of March of the Cameron Men, which is a traditional song for Scottish descendants, actually. And then after he finished playing, he just started throwing grenades at the enemy and charged. For his lunacy and bravery, Mad Jack would be awarded the Military Cross, which is one of the highest honors you can get in the British military at the time.
This fucking guy.
With the Allies preparing to invade Italy in 1943, Mad Jack would join with his commandos in the invasion because, Italy kind of sucked at this point. As the commanding officer of the 2nd Commandos, he would lead his men to landings at Catania and Salerno with his signature Scottish broadsword, his longbow again with arrows and bagpipes. Now, Mad Jack was ordered to capture a German observation post near the Italian town of Molina, which, like I said, the Italian army was kind of dog shit at this time and was the entire World War, so Germany had to step in. Now, this post was a key observation area that led to the roads to Salerno. So Mad Jack and a corporal who worked underneath him would infiltrate the post and capture 42 Germans, including a mortar crew. So 2 guys versus 42 Germans, and the guy at the bagpipes won. Mad Jack would receive the Distinguished Service Order for his bravery in this battle. Now, during this fighting, Mad Jack would lose his signature sword, and since we would not dare battle without it, or he wouldn't dare battle without it, he went back to retrieve his sword. And this wasn't, oh, I lost, I dropped it. It was a case of, oops, it impaled a German and it got stuck in him. So he had to go back and get it. Yeah, he lost it during hand-to-hand combat, and he used his broadsword and his bow and arrows too. He was actually the last person to get a confirmed kill with a longbow in combat.
This dude's just fucking Rainbow.
On his way there, he encountered an American patrol that was heading away from the front lines and were kind of confused on where to go. Jack would point them in the right direction and then told them, I won't be back for a bloody third time. Now, with Italy back into the Allies' hands, Mad Jack would find himself fighting in Yugoslavia, leading the commandos from the island of Vis in the Adriatic Sea. Churchill received orders to capture the German-held island of Brock. He organized a motley army of 1,500 members of the Yugoslav resistance, which were mostly communist, actually, 43 of his commandos, and just a random commando from a separate unit. They would land without a problem, but upon seeing German machine gun nests, the resistance members retreated for the following day. Churchill, however, signals his bagpipes for his commandos to continue the attack. After a strafe from Royal Air Force Spitfires on the Germans, he temporarily retreated to form a new plan of attack for the following day. Now, the following morning, Mad Jack and his commandos pressed on the attack, but the resistance members stayed behind at the London area because, they're a bunch of pussies compared to this guy. After brutal combat, Churchill and 6 other commandos finally made it to objective. The 42 other commandos, or the 30 some other, they died. Only 6, and Churchill made it. However, a mortar attack would kill the 6 other commandos, and as the Germans advanced on Mad Jack, he just took out his bagpipes for one final hit, playing Will Ye No Come Back Again. A German would throw a grenade at him and would knock him unconscious, and he was captured by the Germans.
I feel like that's like a hit the road Jack.
Yeah, kind of. I was from the song. It's very...
I have a lot of questions. Well, like 2 questions.
All right, what you got?
So, did he have, like, bagpipe tunes to tell his soldiers what to do?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Like, think how, like, in the old days, like Revolutionary Civil War time, you would have that random guy with a flag and some guys with drums, so they can, like, dictate where to go. Yeah, he had bagpipes.
Yeah, but then he's going to pull out a broadsword and fucking impale a dude.
Yeah, that's what he did. And if it was too far, he had his longbow.
The poor bastard drummer never got that chance.
No, drummers back then, they were aimed at more than anyone else, along with the flag guy.
And the poor flute player.
Yeah, the poor flute player.
Lest we forget the flute player.
Can never stop to pay your respects for the flute player. You have a second question?
Yeah, but I forgot it.
Fair enough. So, on to where you made the same mistake as the Nazis. The Germans, for some reason, like you, did not understand that last names don't make you related, believed that Mad Jack was related to the British Prime Minister, Winston Churchill. And this mistake...
I have a rare name, so...
That's fair.
They're likely related to me.
Well, this might have actually saved his life because instead of going to a concentration camp right away, they flew him to Berlin to be interrogated. And after his interrogation, Mad Jack was sent to Sachsenhausen concentration camp, which was made specifically for high-value POWs, such as Joseph Stalin's own son. However, you don't get the name Mad Jack for being content of being a prisoner of the Nazis. In September of 1944, Jack, 3 Royal Air Force officers, and Major Johnny Dodge which was just a fantastic name. Johnny Dodge. They secretly dug a tunnel out of the camp and escaped. Believe it or not, Andy Dufresne was not the first person to think of this kind of way to escape a prison. Jack, along with Officer... yeah, call back. Jack, along with Officer Bertram James, attempted to walk to the Baltic coast, but were discovered and recaptured by Germans in the coastal city of Rostock. In April of 1945, during the final weeks of the war, Churchill and 139 other prominent prisoners were being transferred to the Tyrol prison camp under the guard of SS troops. Now, a delegation of prisoners told senior German officers that they believed the SS was going to execute them. Now, keep in mind, this was near the end of the war. German army officer Wichard von Alfenselbein moved his unit in to protect the prisoners, which is a rare move. Because, Germans don't really care about prisoners. Thank you. The SS was surrounded by this unit and realized this really wasn't worth fighting for, considering the war was almost over, and they simply just left. The prisoners were released and kind of just let into the wild. Churchill would walk 93 miles until he found an American unit in Verona, Italy.
93 miles?
Yeah, long walk.
A mile seems forever for me.
Yeah, well, this is why you're not named Mad Billy.
Doesn't sound right.
No. Now, you would think after these 93 miles, these concentration camps, fighting all over, that he would be over fighting. However, he volunteered to go to the Pacific Theater and fight in Burma, which was seeing some of the most intensive land combat against Japanese forces. However, us dastardly Americans spoiled his endeavors because as soon as he landed in India, Hiroshima and Nagasaki discovered what a nuclear weapon was. He was quoted as saying, "If it wasn't for those damn Yanks, we could have kept this war going for another 10 years.
Jesus.
Yeah, he was a scrappy fellow. But don't worry. After World War II, he would still find more ways to fight. After the war ended, ooh, I butchered that, and the Crown created this little place called Israel, which saw some fighting. So, they needed some people there. So Mad Jack became qualified as a parachutist, and he deployed to British Palestine as an executive officer for the 1st Battalion of the Highland Light Infantry. Now, just before his tour of duty to British Palestine ended, he would find himself in conflict once again. On April 13th, 1948, Arab forces would ambush a Jewish medical convoy, and despite British High Command notifying the troops to stay away from the fight, Mad Jack said bully to this and began to assist the Jews.
Fuck yeah, he did.
He offered his armored APC to the injured so he can provide transportation to a more secure location or they can get help. They denied his request, believing that a Jewish paramilitary unit was on their way to assist. However, that did not work out. They did not come. And when Churchill realized this, he began to provide cover fire. However, two trucks would end up catching on fire, and 77 of the 79 occupants would be killed. Now, a lot of these ambushing forces was kind of hiding to where Churchill's forces couldn't get to, and he more or less yelled at them, calling them a bunch of pussies for not coming to fight. He made notes to them that they're using land for the wrong reasons when they should just come out and fight like men. But after this massacre, Mad Jack would help evacuate 700 Jewish doctors, students, and patients to more secure locations.
What a fucking guy.
Oh yeah, this guy's a fucking hero. Now, he would begin to take a break from all this action, and he would return to the big screen as an archer in the 1952 movie Ivanhoe, which would go on to win some Academy Awards here in America.
Jesus.
Yeah, he just does anything he does successful. And we're going to get into someone else he does successful just randomly very shortly. Because he would go on to serve as the instructor for the Land Air Warfare School in Australia, where he became an avid surfer in the process. He would even design his own Hold on. He revolutionized some surfing because he would design his own 16-foot toothpick surfboard and become the first man to surf a tidal bore, which just changed the sport of surfing because he showcased that you can surf outside of the traditional coastal areas anywhere.
All right, so we got fucking the Stacey Peralta surfing out here.
Yeah, just one more thing for the resume. However, after 30 years of military service, Churchill would choose to retire in 1959, but he would continue his antics. During his train rides home, he would often just throw his briefcase out of train windows on numerous occasions, and every time someone asked him why he did that, he simply said, "So I don't have to carry my briefcase home with me when I get off the train."
Lazy ass.
Hey, work smarter, not harder.
I respect it.
Me too. He would just enjoy retirement by taking voyages on coal-fired ships, and he would build remote-controlled model ships as well. Simple retirement.
Sure.
Now, this absolute legend would pass away on the 8th of March in 1996 at the ripe old age of 89. Pretty sure he lived a filling life. He passed away in the British county of Surrey, and in March of 2014, the Royal Norwegian Explorers Club published a book on Mad Jack and named him one of the best explorers the world has ever known. And that ends the story of Mad Jack Churchill.
Yo, this guy's a fucking boss.
Yeah, the bagpipes got me.
It's that and the fact that he just went into combat with a longbow and a broadsword. Like, you have submachine guns going off, machine guns, airplanes dropping bombs, and he's just out there playing bagpipes with a broadsword.
Yeah,
no, this dude's big dick swinging.
Oh yeah. Actually, as I was researching him, came across this other guy who he landed at D-Day, and the first thing he did. Now we all seen, Saving Private Ryan. We know, the things came down and they were being lit up. This psychopath was at the front of his boat and started playing bagpipes to raise morale of his fellow troops. He lived somehow.
I mean, not that it actually happened, but look at the people with the Titanic, how they just started playing music to like calm people from their death.
Supposedly that part was real.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's certain people that just do shit just to do it.
But like, no one listens to bagpipes. When you listen to bagpipes, there's just something about that sound to me.
Yeah, because you think of drinking or funerals.
Yeah. Or if I'm making like combat too, I hear some bagpipes, it's gonna raise my morale a little bit.
There's something about them. I don't know. I just want to sing old Danny Boy or start drinking.
Yeah, I started listening to songs that I was playing, and they were pretty. I like them. I mean, you can tell they're definitely old because the vocals. However, the actual music behind it, that was very beautiful.
I have been known to cry at Amazing Grace on bagpipes. I'm not ashamed to say it.
Well, I mean, Amazing Grace and bagpipes are one of the most beautiful things there is. It's really hard, Yeah, it's hard not to get emotional with that. But now that we talk about someone who is mad with war, I believe we can start going to our next subject here, where people did go mad, or they went to because they were mad.
Is this asylum or is it an asylum?
It's an actual asylum this time. He was sure to tell me this.
Yeah, I have a place for Mad Jack here. Rose, as far as the asylum question, this place is called the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Oh,
Very much asylum.
I'm excited, but I'm also kind of disappointed where I can't make non-asylum jokes. I feel like something was taken away from me.
Yeah, well, it's a prison next week, so I mean.
Oh, cool. Okay.
In a secluded section of Weston, West Virginia, lies an abandoned hospital built for patients suffering from mental illnesses. Construction on the massive campus began all the way back in 1858 in what was then the state of Virginia. Designed by Baltimore architect Richard Snowden Andrews, who most notably built the governor's residence in Annapolis, Maryland, and the south wing of the U.S. Treasury Department. I literally threw him in because he was from Baltimore.
Of course he did.
Consulting with Thomas Story Kirkbride, who was at the time superintendent of the Pennsylvania Hospital for the Insane, construction began on what would later be named the Kirkbride Plan style of hospital. In 1861, after seceding from the Union, fuckers, construction was halted due to funds being tied up with the U.S. The Virginia government demanded the money back from the Union. However, the 7th Ohio Volunteer Infantry had seized the funds from the local bank and delivered it to Wheeling. The funds were used to start the reorganized government of Virginia and would later become West Virginia in 1863, joining the Yankees to the north.
Wait a minute. So Virginia seceded, and they're like, hey, let us keep all this money that you guys put here, and we also want you to pay us for stuff you did before.
Well, apparently the money was like tied up in U.S. funds as opposed to just Virginia funds. So the U.S. had the money.
And Virginia was mad because the U.S. didn't give them the money.
Basically, but then an infantry like stole the money from a bank and were like, "Here you go." So they started a whole new state.
Ah.
The reorganized government allocated funds to return to the construction of the hospital. After a name change to the West Virginia Hospital for the Insane, the building wasn't fully completed until 1881, but the first patient crossed the asylum threshold in October of 1864. In 1871, the main clock tower was completed, followed by a wing for African Americans in 1873. Even if the war was over by now, they clearly didn't have the time for black people.
Well, they had their own clock.
Exactly. The clock tower is like 200 feet tall. It's fucking huge.
Ooh.
It's
Is it
gaudy
still
as
there?
shit. Yes, it is.
Huh.
The hospital and grounds were designed to be fully self-sufficient, boasting a farm, dairy, waterworks, and even a cemetery. I can't figure out why they didn't have a slaughterhouse like Mansfield did.
Well, this wasn't an island.
That's fair. Oh yeah, it was the island, not Mansfield. I do too much haunted shit. The main building is actually the second largest hand-cut sandstone structure in the world, next only to the Kremlin in Russia.
For now.
I mean, I don't think people work in sandstone anymore. I like
Well,
the
I'm saying
style
for
of
now
it.
because, the Kremlin might get blown to pieces eventually.
That's true. We might be the biggest. I don't know why I said we. The hospital was intended to only house 250 patients. However, overcrowding quickly became an issue. the laundry list of reasons to be sent to the asylum didn't really help. Laziness, asthma, domestic issues, and even having an inflated ego would have you sent to the asylum. More reasons are like menopause, PMS, being part of the LGBT community, which obviously we're very against, making them insane, and jerking off.
So you're telling me if like just spitballing here, if I got like a fancy fridge, would you? I'll play on the joke. But if I got a fancy fridge,
Oh,
I
I
have like
know the joke, but
oh, okay, fair enough. And I was watching like some ebony stuff on there. I might be sent to this asylum.
yeah, dick in hand, you're behind bars, bud.
Ah.
Um, anyway, how the fuck are you gonna help someone who just doesn't feel like doing the dishes? I mean, you can't, shock motivation into someone.
You can shock the water.
That's true. Doctors didn't really know how to do anything about it really either. They were also very unprepared as there was little information known about the different disorders, uh, which are very many, especially when it's just laziness or menstruation
Or fridge porn.
or fridge porn. By 1880, the population of the hospital had grown well past 250, with a total of 717 patients roaming the halls. Staff still didn't really know how to handle the patients, especially the more violent ones. Um, they would often use cages to lock the overwhelming ones in during episodes.
Another asylum, another overcrowding problem.
What
Yeah,
a
it seems to be
shocker.
a trend. Fast forward to 1913, the hospital was renamed to Weston State Hospital, and by 1938, the population had grown to thousands. A survey was conducted at Weston State counting 1,661 patients, stating the hospital housed epileptics, alcoholics, drug addicts, and non-educated mental defects.
Or
So
pornographers.
we're all going to this hospital at the time.
Hey, I don't have epilepsy.
I don't even drink that much.
Lies.
I might be mentally defective, but I'm educated.
Not these ones, though.
Fake it till you make it.
In 1949, the Charleston Gazette had done a tour of the hospital and noted that there were problems involving the sanitation, insufficient lighting and furniture, and the building had no heat in most areas of the hospital. The lack of care and living conditions led to a large number of deaths around this time. The Gazette did note, however, that one wing was rather luxurious. Uh, the wing was recently remodeled following a fire started by a patient in that wing.
Ah, so luxurious. Instead of being overcrowded 3 times the population, it's only double the population.
Yeah, it had like new furniture, fresh heating, shit like that.
Do they have a new clock tower?
No, I don't think they worried about the clock tower after the fire.
New
I mean, they
fridges?
they probably they probably did something shitty.
Hmm.
The corruption never stops.
Beginning in the 1950s to try to battle overcrowded conditions. Oh, this is my favorite part of this.
I can't
Uh,
wait.
the hospital participated in what is now known as the West Virginia Lobotomy Project with the help of Walter Freeman.
Oof.
I'm gonna try to not get too carried away with this guy, but I will tell you he was not a surgeon, like licensed or anything. He started the trend of lobotomizing patients using an ice pick to make the procedure quicker.
Oh,
This dude was a literal monster and acted as if he was a fucking magician while performing lobotomies because crowds would actually show up to watch this shit.
dark
Uh,
magician attack.
he had accidentally let an ice pick slip too far into a patient's brain and killing them because a reporter was taking a picture of him. Lobotomies only helped 33% of patients. Meanwhile, another third had no changes really, which I don't fucking understand how that worked. And the
Hmm.
last third had actually gotten worse. For most of these patients, worse just meant they were, dead. Lobotomies soon died out after the introduction of the drug Thorazine, which was labeled as a chemical lobotomy, and it is a delight.
Country roads take me home.
By the 1980s, the hospital reduced its population with the implementing of treatment changes for mental illness. Unruly patients were still kept in cages. Obviously, the changes helped, but definitely didn't help the abuse in Weston and several other asylums in the country at the time. In 1986, then Governor of West Virginia Arch Moore announced a new mental health facility on the other side of town. The new hospital would be named the William R. Sharp Jr. Hospital and would make Weston obsolete. After patients were relocated, the hospital quietly closed its doors in 1994.
I'm sure there's no more problems that will later be found.
No, absolutely not.
Hmm.
The name of
Remaining dormant. Go. Huh? What?
it's the name. It's the name that gets me. The whole let's name it. I don't know.
What gets me, he wants to send my World War II British longsword wielding guy here.
It was top of the line at the time.
The guy's out here with bagpipes throwing grenades at Nazis, and you want to send him to this place in West Virginia.
Yeah, it could hang out. It could be like a whole one flew over the cuckoo's nest type of thing.
Well, how did you hear? I jacked off to a fridge. What'd you do? I threw a fucking grenades at Nazis with bagpipes. Oh.
I was literally on the C sharp while I threw a grenade at him, dude.
Must have missed my note.
Remaining dormant until 1999, police officers from the surrounding areas damaged all four of the hospital during a game of paintball.
Huh.
3 of the officers were let go from their positions. I guess if it's a broken down hospital, it means to be fired. But if it's a black dude, totally fine. Take a paid vacation even.
Well, who doesn't want to play paintball in a old broken down asylum?
I'm not gonna lie, it actually sounds sick.
Yeah, until fucking some ghost shoots one back at you. Make that into a
That
movie. Ghost.
fucking get on this level, Zach Bagans. There were several ideas pitched for the now abandoned grounds. The suggestions ranged from a Civil War museum to a golf course to a hotel, shit like that. The grounds were ultimately sold to an asbestos demolition worker in 2007 who had already been working on the grounds, and he bought it for a cool 1.5 million. Later the same year, the first Fall Fest was held at the hospital. The main building now houses a museum dedicated to relics from the hospital's heyday. Some of the artifacts include paintings and poems done from the patients, along with room dedicated to restraints and methods used to treat patients throughout the history of the hospital. So, like, you could probably see the cages the insane ones were put in.
Road trip.
It is only West Virginia. What's that, like 7 hours?
No, not even.
Keep going. I'll do the some logisticals here.
We just drove there.
Yeah, but this could be further in West Virginia.
Yeah, I don't think Weston's a big place. The
Let's
hospital
see.
is known as one of the most haunted places in the United States and runs several different tours, including paranormal night tours that begin as soon as the sun sets. My lungs are still so fucked up.
You go 5 hours, 43 minutes.
All right. Yo, we could do like after dark ones.
That'd be sick.
With that dude, that would be so fucking sick. With all the gruesome and macabre scenes that played out in the hospital, it's no surprise that paranormal investigators consider Trans-Allegheny to be a dream location to hunt. I have a couple hotspots from around the grounds, ranging from a little girl to a patient who had his head crushed by his own bed by other patients. Lest we forget the lobotomy patients as well.
Take me home, country roads.
I really need to zoom this in.
Where
I'm
the
dying here.
lobotomy.
The first stop on our hotspot tour is called Lily's Room. Lily is thought to be the daughter of a patient of Weston State who was born and died in the hospital. Investigators say Lily will play with items brought to her, most notably rolling balls around the floor and pushing buttons. This is said to be the most active room on the grounds. It's up on the fourth floor, and they say the fourth floor is the most active floor as well. The second stop is what was at one point where lobotomy patients would go to recover. At least the patients who survived the ice pick lobotomy by our buddy Walt were brought to a large open room to recover from having their brains pureed. Investigators and guides have reported being pushed, scratched, and even punched in the lobotomy recovery room. Voices and footsteps can also be heard throughout the large room. During a recent ghost hunting investigation, a woman in a still photo had what looked like a hole in her head taken in lobotomy recovery.
Was that the one you watched with Kesha?
I'll get there. Don't worry, I didn't leave Kesha out of this.
Okay, she's coming up. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's totally Kesha. VF ward is another one. This ward was used to house the violent male patients. Murder actually occurred in this ward when Dean Methane's roommates tortured him by hanging him by a bedsheet wrapped around a pole in their room until he lost consciousness. Then they'd let him down, regain consciousness, and repeat. Once they got tired of doing this, they put a metal pole holding the man's bed onto his head and jumped on the bed, eventually crushing his skull. Claims
God
from
damn.
this room, yeah, that was fucking nuts. Claims from this room in general are just severe nausea, while the whole ward has a very heavy pressure around it. The pressure is said to be so powerful that unsuspecting victims even have trouble like swallowing, doing the breathe.
Doing the breathe.
Yo, did West Virginia get hit by the smoke?
Wait, what?
West Virginia
Did
get
West?
that smoke.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The smoke went all the way down to the Carolinas.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It was just a Canadian wildfire at the time. It's fine.
Blame Canada.
Yeah, we're blaming Canada for everything.
For now on, summer
Yeah,
vibes.
that's how it works. Between terrible mental health care, brain-blending ice picks, murder, and the general poor treatment of conditions, the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum has seen its fair share of death. There isn't a total number on record, but historians believe the number could be near the 500 mark. The hospital has been featured in several ghost hunting shows, including My Girl Keisha. Told you she was showing up. Having her
Came
own
through.
adventure through the hospital. She was actually the woman with the hole in her head in the picture.
Ah, look at that.
Yeah, so Kesha got a ghost lobotomy.
It's spooky how I knew that.
Huh.
It's like you read ahead or something.
I actually did not, so fuck you.
Oh shit.
You asked me to read it, and I did not.
Well, now I know.
Totally forgot till now.
The hospital was also featured in the game Fallout 76. It is still open to several different variations of the tour, with the longer of the guided tours featuring all 4 main floors of the hospital. Paranormal tours are also offered in a short or longer version after sunset. So, road trip, guys?
I'm always down for a road trip.
Yeah, me too. Well, the first time we drove to West Virginia.
No. In one day.
I'm not saying I want to go to West Virginia, but I'll go to West Virginia for this. It's like Ohio.
I'll bring the ice picks.
Huh.
On the way
No,
there,
that
should we
dude had
listen
like
to
a gold-plated one.
a gold-plated ice pick?
Yeah, he had a legit gold-plated ice pick. He never used surgery hammers. It was just like construction mallets.
That's metal.
Yeah, this dude was a fucking psycho. And like he worked with a surgeon at first and then just started doing his own shit with an ice pick.
So if we take
He
a
was
road
never
trip
a
here,
surgeon.
can we just play Ice Nine Kills on the way there?
I'm down with it.
Please don't. I will ice 9 kills myself.
Well, asylum for you. And I'm pretty sure our next topic here could also lead you into these asylum.
It could.
Yeah, why don't you tell us about it?
Okay.
Yeah, but they wouldn't know shit about him.
So, rejects, on tonight's episode, I decided to take a bit of Billy and Kodak's segments and dive into phobias related to their topics or as related as you could be. Starting with Kodak's, I decided to pick traumataphobia. It's a fear of war or serious injury. What is war anxiety? War anxiety is one of those things that is also known as nuclear anxiety, which is common. It's a common reaction for people, especially those who watch the news or look at images about conflict. Also, a morbid fear of war or battle that's going to cause some physical injury. I did list some common side effects to these things. Traumataphobia is the side effects of this can cause intense anxiety at the thought of becoming injured, the dread of the thought of becoming injured, overwhelming sense of cautiousness when you're doing activities, including sports, car rides if you had some kind of trauma of some sort. The inability to cope with extreme emotions, such as just the act of fear alone. People who have been through these things often have muscle tensions, shakiness, and sweating. Most causes of traumatophobia is, like most traumas or most phobias, are caused by families with mental illness. Families with mental illness have a higher chance of this due to genetic predisposition that develop, mental illnesses to trigger these phobias. PTSD is one of the biggest causes of it. Someone may develop this disorder as a result of suffering from a very debilitating injury that's left them in the hospital or in a cast for several weeks, or an injury from active duty, serving in the military, or a sport-like injury that can also fall under this traumatophobia. I know
I'm
there's
not
a lot of
touching
yeah. Have you been triggered?
Oh, I
I
have,
thought
and I
about
was about to make fun of Kodak for having PTSD.
Thank you.
well, there's so many
Oh, I'm
people
there
that
with you, bud.
yeah. Well, there's certain people like there's certain things that what were we talking about? When we were playing softball and we were at Gordon and you got bit by that snake.
No, it was a great time. Well, it wasn't when we were playing softball. It was when I was 10.
I understand that, but when we were on the same field, that's the only thing you talked about.
Yeah, it was a great time. I loved it. That wasn't phobia.
But it was a sense of phobia when
No, it wasn't.
you talk, even though you're not scared, you talk about a traumatic sense.
It wasn't traumatic for me. You realize I got bit by the snake, went back to play baseball, and then forgot about it for 3 hours?
And then you went back and got a tattoo in the same spot you got bit.
Yeah.
As a
Well, it's kinda
reminder. You could have a phobia and not be scared of it. It could just cause some kind of trauma in the back of your head.
And I have yet to discover this. It is far back in my head then.
Okay. Also is GDA, which is a generalized anxiety order. It's a mental health condition that causes fear or consistent watching of the news like CNN, internet browsing, or things that might show impending war, like a global pandemic or terrorist attacks. I don't know if you've ever seen those people who are just, I don't want to trigger anybody by saying like certain people who follow certain politics. They believe everything they see on the news. They believe CNN, they believe everything, and they believe that the world is coming to an end at all time because they've seen so many things happen. Those people, it's not so much they have traumatophobia, but they are easily set off by the idea of something of the sorts.
Well, kind of like how people back in like the height of the Cold War, everyone always thought a nuke was going to drop. You know, you got the Cuban Missile Crisis, stuff like that. They always thought nukes were going to drop.
Or people in this day and age who watch the Twin Towers get hit, and now every time they see a low-lying plane, they're like, "Oh my God, it's happening again!"
Oh man, I knew somebody who would not fly on a plane because of that, and I showed them like this is the last time a plane in America got hijacked, and they're like, "Don't care. There's still a chance." I'm like, "Okay."
There was also references of people who were playing sports that got hurt, broke a leg, broke something, and then never did it again, ever. So traumatophobia is really one of those things that you're scared of what could happen to you in a sense, whether it's sports related, whether it's injury related, a car accident, anything that causes you physical pain and you're afraid of feeling that again, or anything that can cause your brain a mental disability, something that can trigger you as far as war. People who are still wearing masks at a grocery store because they had COVID and they almost died. It's a sense of traumatophobia. So I just wanted to, do a little segment on that just to make awareness that phobias are real. You may just see it as a normal fear, but there's people who take it to the extreme.
I see you have another phobia here too.
I do have one. This one I kind of I enjoy doing this one more. Not that I related to it, but I related to it.
The fear of Dementors.
No, yeah, Harry, yeah. I did a whole segment on Harry Potter. Dementphobia. Dementphobia. It's the fear of insanity. A lot of people feel like they're going insane, and the last thing you want to do is go insane. Dementphobia is a type of phobia that involves the fear of madness or insanity. People who have this fear are afraid of going insane or losing touch with reality. The fear may trigger something that you've seen, something a family member has gone through, a family history of mental illness, or severe stress, like constant severe stress can also cause this. Common side effects or symptoms of this phobia, just like most, is anxiety, breathlessness, dizziness, excessive sweating, feeling faint, headaches, heart palpitations, nausea, panic attacks. Social withdrawal is a big one. And the feeling of being doomed or depressed or suicidal. Most people who have this, they constantly feel that they're going insane. They can't talk to people about it because they think that they at the risk of them sounding crazy. And most likely, when you talk to somebody about what's going on in your own head, it sounds a little bit crazy.
It sure does. That's why I don't do it.
Yep, I was going to say, speaking from experience. The causes of this phobia, in most cases, is a family history of disease, is more likely. The cause of fear of going insane could happen based off a traumatic experience in childhood, such as witnessing a murder, seeing a murder, abuse, rape, all those other things that could be, children's minds are very fragile. All these can lead to a fear of an insanity phobia. Personal or social stress is a big one. Nowadays, this is more common than most because we didn't have this growing up. I mean, at least me and Billy did.
Hey, I only got MySpace when I was in high school, all right?
The internet is a huge contribution to this phobia. Have you ever Googled yourself? Like really Googled yourself and then just like seen what people like what's out there on yourself? Like, have you read what other people think of you online?
Our wedding pops up.
Yes. Have you ever creeped on other's phone or laptop of fear of them cheating on you or them losing interest just for the sheer fact that you feel like you're not good enough? It is a fear. Ew. Doug Whitlower pops up.
Oh, God, I have to scrub this.
Yeah, see? Trauma.
That was trauma for me. I won.
It's one of those things to where once you allow something to slip into your mind, it plays over and over again like a loop, causing some kind of deep-seated black hole in the back of your brain. But unfortunately, there is no known cause that can pinpoint this phobia. Most scientists say it's the mindset of oneself and mostly genetics. So if you have some kind of long history of mental disorder, you're more than likely to fall into that category. Since I did enjoy this one. Yeah, so I enjoyed this one so much that I put in behavioral patterns. So I wanted to share them. Spending time researching mental illness or looking symptoms up online. Everybody in their lifetime has WebMD themselves at some time or a certain point. Don't say you have it.
You're doing it right now. This is my WebMD.
Yeah. So it's just one of those people who constantly for like, oh my God, I'm itchy on my arm. Could it be skin cancer? Those people they're the ones you have to look out for. In-depth tracking or monitoring thoughts, mood swings, or behavior. It's hard because I've read, my late mother, I've read her journals. She wrote down every thought. She would start it like it was an autobiography. And she would just log down her every thoughts of every day because she constantly felt like something was going to happen to her or something was going to do something. Like she was a very sick woman. So it's like one of those things that where she was losing grip, but she was also very high on drugs all the time.
Yeah, I was going to make a joke.
Yeah, drugs can also make you feel that way.
Gonna go right in my diary, but then I got high.
Well, now I
Shut
don't
up. When you're frequently seeking reassurance of insanity, I do this to you all the time.
Reassurance of insanity?
Of sanity. Not insanity, sanity. Like, am I crazy or is this happening? Like, it's kind of one of those things where you're like, you need to feel like you're not the only person feeling it. Taking evaluations or mental health surveys online to determine your diagnosis.
Does this include
ADHD?
looking up like your zodiac signs for the day?
Shut up. No, it doesn't. I'm talking about you and your ADHD or your OCD
Yes.
or just random little tests like, oh my God, could this be me? Is this why I tick this way?
I don't do
You're
this.
constantly seeking. No, I'm just saying people in general.
Oh.
Constantly seeking some kind of answer to why they feel a certain way. Isolating oneself from others or withdrawing from support systems. No matter how many, like, your circle of friends, no matter how many people you have, if you don't feel like you're understood, you're just going to isolate yourself and you're just going to wallow in your own self-pity.
I've seen me do it.
Yep. Relying on rigid routines and behaviors to feel sane or mentally or emotionally stable. Some people just dive into things to just drown out what they're thinking of their own head. Just throwing themselves into things. Ooh, this one really hurts. Psychoanalyzing thoughts, feelings, or past actions.
Mhm.
Yeah, I still live there. Distracting or needing something to stay busy to avoiding difficult feelings or fears. Also, very much still live there.
Swirly, swirly.
Swirly, swirly,
Swirly,
swirly.
swirly,
Thanks.
swirly.
Alcohol. I wanted to show certain examples, so I used two people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was it the Red Hood?
Yeah. Well, we're getting the Red Hood. Many famous, talented, and brilliant geniuses that are known also are known to having mental breakdowns. I wanted to do the case of one very, very, very missed actor, Robin Williams, one of my favorite comedians who's ever walked this earth, who committed suicide. He gave up on his life after battling a long life term of depression. He also was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, which also aggravated the fear of insanity. Parkinson's is one of those diseases that you really just battle yourself constantly, and I don't wish that on nobody. And he got to just a point to where, regardless of how much money he had, one's battle with oneself is very, very, very sad. That was a very sad day for me.
Yo, depression. I cried.
It's bad. And I remember this being one of the conversations we had when we first started dating, when we were asking all the questions about if we had to meet one famous person in our lifetime. And I said mine would have been Robin Williams. And
You
oddly
never had
enough,
a friend like me.
yours was also a dead person.
My dad?
No. You're such a jerk.
Steve Irwin.
It was Steve Irwin.
I mean, one of them both kind of works out.
There's two different. Anyways, another famous case is one of the deep deaths of depression is none other than Michael Jackson. Listen, he is one of the greatest music talents of many, 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 many generations.
I heard he was the
we
inspiration
bumped
for
Michael at work the other day.
You can never go wrong with Michael, honestly. Unless you're a child.
I was going to say, he's the inspiration for R. Kelly.
Shush. Michael Jackson faced allegations of child abuse, pedophilia, dependence of narcotic substance, and he had very reclusive behavior, numerous divorces and relationships, obsession with cosmetic surgeries, which eventually led to his insanity. He was very dependent on being alone. After all that came out, he kept to himself. He depended on drugs to keep him in a certain level, which unfortunately everybody knows, which led to that poor doctor being charged with.
So, you're telling me that Michael Jackson had cosmetic surgery?
You know what? I thought he was. You know what? I really thought he was just allergic to the sun. But
he got a bad sunburn.
after so many things of research I've done, I think it might have been cosmetic surgery.
Son of a bitch. Never would have guessed it. Looks so natural.
You know, for people, for the Gen Z population of kids that were born, before anything that started with 19,
So those of you born during the Civil War.
You shush. I'm talking about those who were born after 19, like the 2000
Okay,
plus.
so after, not before.
Whatever I said. What did I say?
You said those of you who weren't born before 19.
Who weren't?
No one alive right now is born before 19.
Shh. I'm tired. I'm struggling right now. Anyways, those who were born 2000 plus and didn't know Michael Jackson or understand who Michael Jackson was, he was born one color and he transitioned to another. His face is completely different. He is not the same
His nose
person.
fell off.
It did. I got your nose. I got your nose.
Come on, Blanket, let's go play.
I love how this is like the second time we've referenced this today. South Park.
Yeah, we're definitely on second South Park.
Yeah. Awesome. These are just some examples and some reasons that that could lead to things like depression and anxiety that can trigger people to fall into dementphobia. And I, for one, can relate in a sense. I'm starting to realize that my phobias are expanding. And this is why I get swirly. Do you guys relate to any of these phobias that I talked about?
Oh, I'm pretty sure I had this phobia. I have a terrible fear of going insane because like people go insane, they don't realize they're going insane. It's normal to them. What's going on?
I've gotten to a point where I just kind of accept it.
Well, with my exaggerated history of head trauma, who said one day I don't wake up and I'm like, yep, the sky is purple.
So you can fall underneath both of these categories.
Both. Just the second one.
Traumataphobia. You don't have fear of getting injured again?
Kodak, we met because of fear of fireworks.
That's a different phobia. That's probably a different phobia. Let's see here.
Fear of fireworks is
It's
something
not
different.
A different
phobia.
But why is he afraid of fireworks?
It's phonophobia. So also called ligyrophobia or sonophobia. And I can handle sparklers now, so it's okay. So
As long as he's lighting the firework, he's okay. But I'm saying the trauma. Go ahead.
I'm kind of the same way. Like if I'm in control of it, that's a different story.
Yeah, but I feel like Anthony's afraid of. I feel like he said before, like having another concussion and going insane. I think that it's kind of like a two-part. If you can take these two phobias and merge them together, you're just kind of hoping that never happens to you. The fear of getting hurt again, and the fear of going crazy due to that trauma.
Yeah, my head took enough shots. We're good.
Huh? Your mouth hasn't.
Woohoo!
You want to do a shot? You know
what?
You're
Jack
right.
Coming back, big swinging.
Let's go past second shots and let's just drink a bottle.
You know what? That's enough trauma for one night. I still can't.
Yeah, where's the trauma of apples?
Yeah, I definitely have an apple trauma because every time I smell an apple, I don't even drink apple juice no more. Thank you very much.
Why would I?
Well,
you know what happened. You were there. This motherfucker changed the bottle of apple fucking whiskey and then threw it up as I was leaving the room, and a sudden burst of apple fumes just came rushing at me like a freight train.
Still amazing. It took me that long to throw up.
I don't recall this.
I don't recall it either. Actually, I do kind of remember throwing up.
I'm not one to pray, but I prayed the whole way back to his house that he did not vomit all over the car and all over me.
Honestly, the last thing I remember that night is him chugging that bottle.
Me too.
However, I do hope that everybody enjoyed tonight's episode, and I love doing the phobias. Like I said, I end up finding myself relating to a lot of these. We welcome feedback and also phobia requests of any types or sorts. If anybody has a phobia that they want us to cover or to do something on, you can also be a guest on the show to kind of cover it, talk about your experience for phobias. We're always looking to try new things and do new things. And there's a lot of weird phobias out there that people are scared of that most people don't think of. And I'm interested in into covering some of these.
Very nice.
Yep. Anything else?
Bill, you have anything else?
Cats are still losing. Not
Cats
doing
are still
great.
losing? Well, maybe Vegas in 4.
Oh, probably. Honestly, if they drop this game, it's Vegas in 4.
Well, you hear it here first. Real-time updates with Billy, Vegas in 4.
Listen to my hopefulness drop during the episode.
Well, then, if that's it, we can do our outro and get out of here. And as we close out, Bill, I gave you no warning for this, so just take the ride. As we close out, we like to raise awareness for a GoFundMe for a listener here whose daughter, 6-year-old, going through some medical procedures following a colon failure. We believe we should do something good here. So proceeds of this are going to the medical costs. So stay tuned on our social media profiles for the link. Donate if you can. And if any of our other faithful rejects here are going through troubling times, please let us know so we can help you through it and raise some awareness for your cause or what's going on. On that note, we thank you for taking time out of your life to listen to us converse on topics that we find interesting, and hopefully you learned something and had fun in the process. If you happen to enjoy us, be a friend and like and follow us on your local social media platforms at Full Send Rejects. And no matter what, don't forget to full send it this week.
I can send it.
Swirly.
Swirly.
Swirly.